Okay, well, today we're going to start the Creative Journeys interview series. Margaret, I think Margaret Williams of The Empowered Leader, if I have that correct. Thank you so much for being my guest today. I was your guest a number of months ago, and now we get to talk about creativity and leadership and retirement. And Margaret's so active on Substack, and she's such a powerhouse. I really am honored that you're going to spend 30 minutes talking today. If you guys have questions about creativity and retirement or creativity and leadership is Margaret's forte, um, please ask them in the chat. I'll keep my eyes on the chat. Thanks, Michael, for joining. Welcome, Margaret.
I am honored to be here with you today, Laurie. You and I met in notes, and I was just so struck by your work.
Oh, thank
It
you.
was like it was speaking specifically to me. Okay? When I look at your work, my nervous system automatically just calms. I have this peacefulness
Wow,
over me, and your work, it's just transformational.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, we're going to have to get you some, Margaret. We'll get you some. Um, So you've entered a new chapter of your life since I met you, and
Yes.
you are now officially retired from the U.S. military. Um, God bless you. Thank you for your service. How many
Thank
years?
you. Thank you.
How many years were you?
39.
Wow. Thank you. It's unbelievable. So, how would you like to start talking about creativity today? We can talk about creativity in your childhood. Like, what's your earliest memories of your creativity, and maybe sometimes it was significant for you?
Yes. I grew up in the 1960s, which is a pivotal time in history. If you stop and think about it, we had a lot of things going on. The Bay of Pigs. We had the Civil Rights Movement. We had JFK. We had the Cuban Missile
Crisis.
crisis. Yeah, we had they came down with the wall. Was that Germany? Or it was such a pivotal time in history. You had the music revolution, sex revolution. Love and everything else. You had the the music for real, because I grew up in Detroit, which was considered the Motor City, okay? Where
Yeah.
you see all the musical acts like the Temptations, okay? And Aretha Franklin, uh, Marvin Gaye, okay? The list goes on and on. And most of those hits were produced, the biggest producer there was Berry Gordy. Um, Musical talents on every corner you can think of, okay? And one of the things, too, that I
Detroit was
grew up in.
something.
Huh? It was.
Detroit was the place to be.
It was. It was. And I was very proud to grow up with that musical spirit, not just in Detroit, okay? All over the world. I love the Beatles. Um, the association. I can go on. I loved music because growing up, I grew up in a dysfunctional and abusive childhood. Okay, my father
Yeah,
was a minister. Okay, upstanding person in the community, but he was a narcissist. He was very troubled, and nobody knew about all these things that was going
sure,
on at home. Okay,
sure, sure.
so I had to find a way to escape. I couldn't physically escape. Unable to go out in the world and to take care of myself. So what can I do? I created this make-believe world. Okay? Make-believe world where, like Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah,
where your creativity can come alive and you're uninhibited. And that's the key to creativity. Being able to let go the ego, and you just, from your inner knowing, you using all your senses and figuring out what comes naturally to you. Okay. And we have a tendency to lose this innocence, this part of us, because of society's demands on our attention,
Yeah.
on expectations and everything else. So you lose this creativity and you learn to model yourself towards other people's expectations. Okay. So I really didn't realize all of these things because you're steady going through life,
Yeah.
meeting the demands of everybody else and forsaking yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then once you get older, okay, you've gone through all these different phases of life that we're supposed to go through. And then you get into retirement and you're like, damn, where I go from here?
Yeah.
Because all these identities that you
Sure.
take on, these roles and titles and positions, you lose yourself. You don't know who you are. Okay. So I retired in September, not by choice, because I was forced to,
Okay.
from all this toxicity.
Sure.
Okay, when people don't get help as a child, they carry all these behaviors with them. And that's why we have such toxic organizations. Okay?
Yeah.
Because these people think they know better. It's the ego, and they're going to find a way to get rid of you because you're different.
Oh,
Okay?
geez. Yeah.
I mean, that's life. Okay?
Yep. Yep.
That's
Yep.
life.
Yep.
It was for a reason. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm going to tell you why. Because
Yeah.
all these things armed me, okay, and gave me the strength and the fortitude that I have today to get through.
Yeah.
I just look at it as another challenge, okay? Because we are dealt with a lot of trials and errors throughout life.
Yeah.
We cannot learn, we cannot grow if we don't have these roadblocks and adversities, okay?
I agree.
It forces us outside of our comfort zone and forces us to think differently, okay? And that's creativity, okay?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So as a child, what did I do? Creativity.
Yeah.
I wrote poems,
Okay.
okay? That was a way to not release, but to cope with all the trauma, with all the abuse, physical and verbal.
Yeah.
Okay. I've
Yeah.
even experienced sexual abuse.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
sorry, Margaret. Yep.
It's life. It's
Yeah.
life. If you
Yeah.
never experienced any of these things, you are blessed and you should thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But a lot of people have experienced all of these things and more.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I give up? Do I sit on a pity pot? Do I just lay down here on the ground and let people continue to kick me and all these things? No, get up off the ground, dust yourself off. These things happen to me. It's not who I am. Okay. So,
100%.
all right. So processing all these things through poetry. Okay. And then I sang in the choir. Yeah. So yeah, I was put on the stage. Okay, you got to go out there and perform. Okay,
Sure.
okay, all right, fine.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. At church, you were in the choir? Was it
Yes.
at your dad's church? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So yeah.
Tell me what singing does for you.
Uh, It it's okay. I don't know if you remember back in the day when they used to have the black hymns when my ancestors were slaved. Okay, how they coped with that being in the field, they would come up with these hymns and everybody would hum and things together, and through voice we're able to uplift our spirits. Okay, we're able to uplift uh our to get motivation and inspiration to know that one day we're going to see freedom, you know? So you have to always have to have something to look forward to. Otherwise, what's life worth living? It's just, why am I here? You know what I'm saying? If you don't
Yeah.
have something to hold on to.
Yeah.
And one of those things was my faith. And I left the Baptist church. I left the religion, okay?
Mhm.
Because it persecuted me. It criticized me. It judged me. Just the opposite of what it's supposed to do.
Right.
And it enslaved me,
Yeah.
kept me down here. That's the reality. So I walked away from all that stuff and went with the army. And I said, I'm done. Okay. I cut that off.
Sure.
But I always still felt empty because there was something missing. I was doing this job and I just focused on all of that and just put my heart, soul, and everything into that job. But that wasn't smart either, because when you leave work, then what you have? You
Right.
still have this emptiness inside. And it stayed like that. I stayed unfulfilled all these years. And what you do, you ignore it, you pretend. When I'm putting out my motivations out there, I'm like, yeah, I'm be pretending, I'm revising, I got all this emotional labor, I'm carrying all this stuff around that really is half of it, most of it's not mine anyway.
Right.
But I'm holding it in. So I know it's probably getting off path, but creativity helped me to get back to who I really am. When I retired, I finally said I had to shed all that stuff because I didn't know who the hell I am. I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay. Along with this publication, as I figure out who I am, then I can implement all of these things into my business. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been walking around lost all this time and pretending, put a big smile on my face and act like everything is okay
Yeah.
until I figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, too, it's probably like if your time is spent giving your attention to all these things, and you have to be alert and you have to be responsive and your mind is invested in this thing that is external from you. And I'm wondering about this phase of retirement where, like, as you said, you don't have to give of yourself as people do. Many people do give their entire lives. And now they come to this point where they're left with them and not, and certainly in a certain role at a certain job, whatever. And this is what I like to help people do. And I'm wondering, is poetry something that you have gone back to since this? Like, what are have you started any different kinds of creative practices that that gives you time to sit with Margaret? Like when you were writing those poems as a kid, you were sitting with the essence of Margaret, the thing that was bigger than your body, and the edges of your skin.
It's it's all five senses coming alive, okay? In whatever way. You start in the body or you start with the heart, the mind, the soul, and how you're feeling in the moment. Your feelings changed moment by moment. We may not realize it because a lot of us are walking around on autopilot
Right.
because that's what we become used to. This is what I'm supposed to do today, whether I want to do it or not. We don't have a choice, especially if you got a job and you got obligations, responsibilities. We have to be accountable, right? So, yeah. So the creativity part come after. Okay, it's not something just immediate. Sometimes I have to sit and reflect. Okay, and ideas and will come to me. Okay, it's not something that's forced at all. That's why one of the reasons why I'm not writing anymore, because I'm not passionate about writing. Okay, it doesn't light me up. So talking is what I enjoy. Okay, I love doing these daily reflections. I love that because being able to put the sound and the voice and visuals, all of these things together, creating magic. Everyone is different. Because I work for the government, and the most of the work that I did was repetitive. Okay,
Mhm.
so which I really really hated in some aspects, being mechanical, because creativity is about spontaneity. And the work that I did was mundane and
Mhm.
boring.
Mhm.
But looking at the bigger picture, this work was necessary because it's helping to improve the quality of people's lives. So when you look at it from that perspective, it gives it a whole new meaning. And the same thing with creativity, okay? Understanding why you're doing this. Okay. So everything that I'm doing with this publication is based on um, what I enjoy, what brings me passion, and doing it that way, people can feel and see, get value from your work. If you're just doing something to just do it haphazardly, people are going to see it and it's like, no, this doesn't make any sense. It's not. It does. It's not congruent with me and what I do. And that's
Yeah.
one of the ways how we find our tribe. We're on the same frequency and resonance. People can sense and feel that, and they gravitate towards you. And that's where we meet our tribe. See, so I didn't know a lot of these things we don't know at the beginning. How would you know? Never did it. So now, since I've been this far, you look back and you see all these lessons, say, oh, okay, now things will start to click. But at first, they're not going to, but you have to give yourself space and time for things to become. When you plant plants, they're not going to rise immediately. It takes time. It takes nurturing and cultivating. Same thing as a relationship. Same thing like creativity. It's like, for example, I get ideas certain times of the day. Okay. So best thing for me to do is I can record it on my phone or whatever. So when you get these signs, we get signs all the time during the day, and you tune into tap into all of these things, your intuition, your inner knowing, um, your values, all of these things play a part, I think, in the creative process because it's a part of who I am.
Yeah.
Okay. And all of these things resonate in our messaging when we send it out. We don't necessarily realize that, but it does.
Yeah. Your messaging has come out. That's one thing that really drew me to you, were because you do these lives a lot, and I think I've noticed that you really value connecting with people, and you value sharing your passion with other people, and um, and it's we're in this. You're in Anchorage. I don't know what it's like for you, your physical life in Anchorage, if it's providing the same kind of connection, physically on site with people the way Substack does. But that's one thing I gravitated to you and your publication, was that your passion was contagious. I mean, so obvious that you come through, and it's one thing I've enjoyed watching as your publication evolves and changes and grows. Absolutely, it's grown so much. Um, what I wanted to ask you was, so now you're in this phase of your life, and what if you want to talk about what are some of those things out there that you kind of had dreamed big about doing, that like bucket list items, or things that you're kind of like, well, that would be really cool. I'm kind of dreaming about this, or I'm dreaming about something like that.
Well, I've always been a dreamer. Okay. And so dreaming things and making them a reality is another thing. I try to keep it real with myself, okay? Because sometimes it's good to have big dreams, okay? But we also have to be realistic, okay? So Yeah, but never give up on your dreams because I really never thought I was good enough, honestly. And every step that I get, every hurdle that I overcome, it just shows me that I have the ability to persevere. Okay. Um, so we just have to continue. What I have to continue to do, and everybody else I would recommend, is to continue taking baby steps. That prevents you from becoming overwhelmed.
Sure.
Because I noticed when I, tried to do my business earlier, just the thought of running a business is overwhelming in itself. So, what do? You take some breaths and you just take small iterative steps towards the goal. That helps to boost your self-confidence,
Yeah.
keep you motivated in the momentum, knowing that the light is getting brighter at the end of the tunnel with every positive step you take.
So, do you have a big project that you're taking baby steps to now, or like what's Margaret focusing her energy on now?
Well, with this business, okay, I've reached a certain point. Okay, I've reached that fork in the road,
And could you
and
explain
I'm
your
gonna.
business quickly for those people that are just watching or they might not be familiar with what your business is?
I am a certified executive leadership coach and a systemic team coach and a mentor, and I have a master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So, with the business, we have to establish ourselves. Okay. Once you get established, you have to build trust. And then you have to put your products and services out. Okay. And the whole goal is to help people. Okay. And that's the gifts that I have, the gifts and the talents. So why not utilize uh, these things since I'm retired now?
Right. So your business is the Empowered Leader, and how do people reach out to you to connect with you to inquire about your services? Um, Maybe what are some of the favorite things you like to do in the as the with your business, the Empowered Leader?
Well, actually, my business is intuitive
Thank
professional
you,
coaching.
thank you,
Yeah, intuitive professional coaching. And the Empowered Leader is just the publication, which I
thank
use to
connect.
connect with people and also with my products and services.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So it's every business, the first 3 years is the most riskiest. Okay. I've had my LLC since 2017 and I really didn't do anything with it. So I've come a long way, okay, to be able to have this publication and do all these things and getting through the trauma and having the retirement and everything else, okay? Everything is a process. I'm still figuring things out. I'm still figuring me out too in the process. So I'm giving myself some grace because I could be harder on myself than anyone ever can.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me just check my questions here. Hi, Shar says, good morning. Hi, Ginger. You guys, thank you all for joining. Catherine Lyatt, Rogers here, Sue, Amanda, Laura. Do you guys have any questions for Margaret Williams here? Please put them in the chat. Michael Hendrick, Netta, Q, and Sharp, hello. Kathy, small hello. Robert Ians, and Sharp, Assemblywoman. If you guys have any questions for Margaret, she's on the other side of the interview today. We were just talking about her creativity in her childhood and using creativity in retirement and having the space and time to be quiet and silent with yourself without being bombarded, by all these thoughts and ideas. What do you do? Do you have a quiet practice or a meditation practice, or do you have anything like that you like to do that helps you quiet all that chatter? That you're not good enough, that I need to take, baby steps, or if you feel like you're getting on the wrong path, what are some of the things that you do to kind of pull you back in and get you reconnected to the strong, resilient woman that you are?
Well, one of the things I do is to remove myself from things that I don't need to be involved in. Okay. That's one thing because I have to protect my energy. I have to protect my peace and I have to protect um, my way of life. Because if you get the wrong people in your life, they can bring you down. Okay. I've dealt with that and betrayal and all those things my whole life.
Yeah,
So I keep my circle small. I protect my boundaries. We have to have boundaries. If we don't, then it's easy for people to come in and wreak havoc. Okay. So
yeah,
that's one of the things. I listen to music majority of the day. I have Apple Music. Um, I like to listen to the different frequencies. Okay, because that also helps.
like the hertz
Um,
frequencies?
yes,
Yeah, yeah, I do
yes.
too. I yeah, especially if I feel like if I'm off, if I'm having an off day, and you can actually realize instead of just going around you know, um being, sassy or miserable or depressed, if I have the wherewithal to realize, "Oh, I'm not in a nice state," I'll go put some music on and sit with it, and I find that it helps a lot. So I'm interested that you do too. That's great. What else do you like to do?
I like to. I have an exercise room, and exercise help too. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Um, yeah. Um, since I have dogs, I take them out frequently, and being out in nature really helps because, like I told you, it's beautiful with the trees, the ice on the trees, and the snow, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have 2 dogs? 2 dogs?
Yes.
Do you ever notice how your dogs also do they help bring you down, to a state of the beautiful things that pets can do for us, for sure.
Yeah, because they can sense the frustrations. They can sense a lot of different things, and so yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a trend. It's yeah, it's really. I would suggest a dog or a cat or something. Or fish. Fish is good too because if even if you just sit and watch the
Watch
water,
them. Super
it
calming.
just it is. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only thing I
Lis
don't like about the fish tank is the cleaning of the tank.
That's true. That's true. Here, listen, Netta Q writes, she says, "Good morning, everyone. I have also written snippets of poetry since childhood." And she has, "My question is how have you managed maintaining boundaries throughout the stages of your life? How have you
That's a
managed maintaining boundaries? That's throughout the stages of your life." That's a great question.
that is a good question because I am a highly sensitive person, okay? And once you've hurt me once, uh I realize, okay, once a person hurt you once, it was on purpose. Okay? Because I'm not going to purposely, maliciously disrespect you if unless it was. Okay?
Sure.
So the thing that you have to do, I don't care who it is. It could be a family member. Cut them off. Period. Cut them off. There's no other choice because if you keep going back, it's going to be more severe each time you go back. If a person's hurt you once, they will hurt you again. My father did that. So no, cut them off.
So you set a strong limit. So if someone's hurt you, you don't even bother. You're just like, let's take you and put you over here.
No, they're dead
And
to me. They're dead to me.
gotcha, gotcha. So any other like managing boundaries? How did you manage boundaries? Like you had 39 years in the military. That'd be very interesting. How do you maintain and manage your boundaries throughout that time?
One way, I moved 8 times because once you go to a job and they treat you like shit on the first week, the first day, like they did here, I knew that my time was limited. I just wanted to get to next year, okay? But that didn't happen because the treatment kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I got to the point where it's either was going to be me or them. So it was time for me to leave because I didn't want to end up in jail. Okay?
Okay.
I'm just being honest. I'm
Yeah,
being
no,
honest.
please. Yeah,
Because when people
yeah,
keep poking you and you keep telling them, you don't tell them specifically, but they're not stupid. That if you keep poking me, eventually something's going to happen,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's okay because it was something else for me to do, and that was Substack because I couldn't continue working that job and working and doing Substack. Okay, it was just like mediocre. I felt, So
sure.
I had to give something up. Some people don't realize that we have to give something up in order to be who we want to be, to get to where we want to go.
Yeah,
What is that going to be? You can't carry all of that stuff. It's too much.
yeah,
And I realized that I was at the brink. I was up here. It was too much.
yeah. I think women also have a specific, maybe not, but that I think that women in the last so many decades, I'm a kid of the '70s, born '71, that, like, we were kinda raised with, "Oh, as a woman, you can do all of these things now, and you can be a mom, and you can have a job, and you can do this." It's almost like we were given way too much stuff to manage, and it's like then I think many of us grappled with, like, well, you're supposed to have it all. You're supposed to, if you're like an educated woman, you're supposed to have a job. But then how am I supposed to be a mom? Then how am I supposed to manage this if I have kids at home? And then it's just like it's too much. It's like these great things I think about being a modern woman. It was almost like you. I don't know if we had too many choices, or and this could just be my experience of just trying to do too many things. And like as far as setting boundaries, I probably should have set a lot more boundaries and not taken on so many things, trying to make so many people happy. You know.
You lose yourself in the process.
Yeah.
Okay? So when
Yeah.
we talk about boundaries, I really didn't have a lot because you didn't have a lot of choices. When your boss come and say, this report has to be done, you can't tell him, no, I have to leave in 10 minutes. Okay? So now I have boundaries because I'm retired and I can be selective. And, and I don't care if people like me. Okay? That's where I'm at today. And
Yeah.
I'm free. I'm free. Okay? I don't have to accept just anything and I'm not chasing. I'm not over explaining. Okay? This is what it is. You
Yeah.
want it or
Yeah.
not?
Right.
The choice is yours. Next.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I have zero tolerance now because of all that crap we had to go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. But
We just
on the
need
bright
to
side too,
set ourselves free.
that's right. Right. There was one, I can't remember who I read this from. I think it was from Byron Katie. I don't know if you've ever followed her at all.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
brilliant as far as helping us understand the war that goes on in the mind. And she's always like, "Do you wanna be right or do you wanna be free?" And I think that's one of the greatest things I take from her, right? I don't know if you've
Yes.
heard that. Because
Yeah.
you could be in these arguments. Yeah, go ahead. No, you go.
Take your power back. We never had no power, but I have it now. And I'm not giving it to nobody.
Yeah.
Period.
Amen,
I
sister.
don't care who you are. Okay, this is
Yeah.
where we are today. We all have made all of these sacrifices. Okay, now it's our time to shine.
I think it's gonna be this is what I really love Substack for as well, is that, like you were talking about finding your tribe, and I think there's a lot of women that I'm encouraging if they're either empty nesters or they just retired, and it's like they're kinda, like, grappling. I'm like, "Just come to Substack." It's a different way to be social and connect with people because you can come onto lives like this, and you can meet people and you get to know what they're like. It's like just like going to like a neighborhood like social gathering. Like you can go into this room if you want to learn about this person. That's what I love, Margaret, about all of your interviews is because you get to learn about not only what people are doing, but you get to learn a little bit about that person and what their history is and what their strengths are. So, you know, it's a great it's a great platform, I think, for somebody of our age, and women are trying like, well, where do I land now? What am I supposed to be doing now? And there's so many recommendations as far as how to get connected to yourself. And what do I want to be next? What do I want to do next? And
That's
you
why
help
we
people.
all are here. Okay? Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's true. That's true. And I want to read a comment here from you. Florence said, you have to give up good to get great. Women are conditioned to be that way, putting others' happiness in front of ours, but we learn eventually. Yeah, sometimes we learn way too late. But at least, if you're still living and breathing, you still have time to put to work what you've learned. Are there anything else? I want to wrap this interview up. Margaret, is there anything else you want to touch on, or um, besides your publication? What next big things for you?
Well, as we know, life is unfolding, okay? And for me, I learned that it's best not to talk about it, just to do it, okay? Because, things can happen. And so I'm continue learning and growing, and each and every one of us are evolving, and we should continue to do that. And just give yourself grace, okay? Rome wasn't built in a day,
That's
right?
true. That's true. I love Rome. That's a
Yeah,
crazy city, but I love it, and it wasn't. No, and all roads lead there anyway. So,
there you go. Thank you
okay,
so much, Laurie. I really appreciate you, friend. And this was amazing. Thank you so much.
yeah, I appreciate seeing you, and thank you for, I know Margaret, like, is up at all hours, or I see her online at all hours, and she is in your own time zone out there in Anchorage, Alaska, but, you guys please follow Margaret's, Substack if you haven't already. She interviews really interesting people, and she's got so many great ideas on your learning and identifying your leadership strengths and using your intuitive nature to get connected to that leader that you are. um, Thanks so much, Margaret. I can't wait to see you again online here
Like,
somewhere.
likewise. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you all. How you guys
Thanks.
have a great day. Ciao.
All right, bye. Ciao.